Welcome. My name is Debbie and this is Pouring My Art Out for the Lord. And today I'm going to show you how to make a pretty unique piece of ephemera, I think. This is my Ponder the Word journal. And this is the piece right here. I've seen several versions of this on different YouTubers lately, and then I also saw it on Facebook, on a Facebook reel by a lady named Trifold Diagonal. And so I just kind of mixed the two up a little bit and made my own version. This has, for such a tiny little compact space, it actually has a ton of writing space, which is what I really want for my Ponder the Word journal. So you can make this with a digital, you could just make it with coffee dyed paper or cardstock. I'm going to make it, this one I made with a piece of 12 by 12 scrapbook paper, and I'm going to make this one with 12 by 12 scrapbook paper as well. This one is just one-sided, whereas this one was two-sided. So I'm going to have to make a couple of little adjustments here to cover up the white, but I'm just going to show you how it works. So this tag comes out here, and that holds this whole thing together. There's a pocket there. And so these fold out, and then there's writing space there, and it's turned into a pocket, so there's more writing space there. And then some people have these open, so they open, it's not glued in as a pocket here, but I decided to glue them as a pocket. And in here I put a couple of little, I've been making these little notebooks, these narrow, tall, narrow notebooks with a little tab on the top. So that will be coming out as a mass make, I think probably next week. I'll show you how to make a whole bunch of different variations of those, but you could really put anything in these pockets, a tall tag or whatever. So that's it. It's a simple piece, but it's kind of unique, and I think it packs a bit of a punch for just such a small piece. So I'm going to show you how to make this today. My Ponder journal is a little bit smaller than I sometimes make. So it is... it's 5.5, some pages are shorter, 5.5 this way, but only 7 tall. So I'm going to make mine shorter to fit on my page. If you have a taller journal, you can make it a little bit taller. So first I'm going to take my, my 12 by 12 piece of paper, and I'm going to cut a 6-inch strip. This works best if it's kind of a non-directional paper. I'm going to cut that in half at 6 inches, and then I'm going to cross cut that at 10.5 inches. So my journal, I want this pocket to be 6 inches tall. If you have a taller journal, 8.5 or whatever, you can make this 7.5 tall. It'll work exactly the same way. And I'm going to make mine 10.5 inches. Actually, I'm not. I'm gonna leave it at 12. I made one with 12 inches, and I changed it to, if you're working with a digital, you won't have 12 inches. So I changed it for this one. Where's my sample here? Oh, right here. I changed it for this one because I thought if someone was using a digital, I would just make this 10.5, and then it would, you need 3 equal pieces. So 12 works well because you have 4, 4, and 4. 10.5 works well because you have 3.5, 3.5, 3.5. That gives you 10.5. But I can use a little bit wider one in my journal here too. So I'm going to make this one the full, because I'm using scrapbook paper. I could make it the full 12 inches. And the math works out easier that way as well. So basically you want to divide it into 3 parts. So for me it's 4-inch sections. So I'm going to score it at 4 and at 8. So I have 4 inches, 4 inches, 4 inches. And then I'm going to split this first section into 2. So in my case it will be 2 inches. If yours is different, it will be half of that. And then I'm going to do the last part in half as well, so that'll be 10 inches. So for the 12 by 12, you need to score at 2, 4, 8, 10, and that's it. So then we just fold on all of those scores. And then I want the white side facing down because that is going to be glued onto my page, and I don't care about that being white. So I'm going to fold this side in like this, and then I'm going to fold it out like that. Same with this side. I'm going to fold it in on the first score and out on the second. Oops, out on the second score. So I have this like this. And then I'm going to just angle these sides here. So I'm just going to do this from the back because it's a little bit easier to see from the back, especially when you're dealing with white paper. So on the 4-inch score from the left-hand side, I'm just going to give it a little ink so I know where I'm at. And then this will be at the 8-inch score. I'm going to mark that as well. So I just marked, 4 inches in and 4 inches past that. Then I want to mark 2 inches down on this side and 2 inches down on this side. You could do this different ways. The 2 inches is not crucial, but that's what I used, and I found that was kind of pleasing to the eye. Then I just want to connect this score to this 2-inch mark here, like that. And I'm going to do the same on the other side, just like that. Then I'm just going to cut off those 2 triangles. And then what we're left with is this. So that looks like we take this off. And I'll take these out for now. So that looks like I'll even take this one out. That looks like our original pocket, except it's a slight bit wider. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to cover these 2 white pieces. You could just ink it if you like. I have this paper that actually came in one of those Dollar Tree packs. It's kind of an interesting, it almost feels like a wallpaper. It quite likely is a wallpaper. But I just have 2 little parts there to cover, so I thought I would use this. What I'm going to do is just in the folded position, I'm just going to mark lightly those 2 triangles because I know I just want a little bit past that to cover. And then I'll just open that up, and then I'm just going to fit this on so that it's just, 1/4 of an inch or so below that. And I'm just going to glue that on with my glue stick. Just open this so I don't get glue everywhere. And I'll just put a little bit of wet glue on the edge here as well. I find this easier than making a template. You can do a template as well, but so I'm just going to bring that down on this side just a little bit beyond that mark and not over top of the fold line there. I'll give that a bit of a press. And then on the other side, I'm just going to fold this back, and this is the part that I can cut off here. So just there and there. And then that should cover my spot there quite nicely. I can give it a little bit more glue now that it's trimmed off. I can just glue on this edge here. A bit of wet glue so it sticks well. I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. So just give that a bit of a glue with the glue stick. little bit of wet glue along the edge. And this one will go. That will work. Then I'll have the rest of that left for the pockets. So just along that edge there. And then fold this back and trim there. If this seems too complicated, just ink it. It'll look just fine inked as well. Slipped a little bit here. There we go. And I'm just going to glue a little bit on the edge now. I think this maybe is not going to glue as easily as a piece of just normal paper. Probably should have glitter glue or fabric glue or something like that, but if I wait for it to dry, I think it'll be okay. So I have that, and then I want to make a pocket at the bottom here. So I'm just going to take my same piece of paper. I'm going to decide how deep of a pocket I want. Probably about 2 inches I think would be good. So I'm going to cut a strip of this at 2 inches, and the width of my pocket, which is 4 inches. This is a little more than 4. I'll just trim it off at the end. So 2 inches. And because this is super lightweight and this is a pocket, I'm just going to line it with something. Just have a little piece of cardstock here, which will work perfectly. So, put some glue stick on the back of that. And I'm just going to glue the edges here again as well. I'm going to put a notch here. I don't know where the notch is going to be exactly yet, but I'm just going to glue that on and give that a second to dry. Okay, and then I'll just cut out my pocket. And I want to make a divot or a thumb notch in this pocket. So what I'm going to do is just fold it in half and just make a little pinch. You can just measure the halfway point or whatever if you want as well. And then I'm just going to grab, this is just an oval punch, you can use a circle punch, and I'm just going to make a little bit of a notch there in my pocket. And then I'm just going to ink around this part of the pocket. And then I want to cut this in 2 inches, at 2 inches, because it's actually, no, I forgot to center this on here. Okay, so let me just center it here. Well, actually I can do that in a minute. I'll just do my 1/2 inch here, or my fold it in half here. You won't have to do this if you cut. I cut mine a little bit wider than my bottom because my strip was a little wider and I forgot to trim this first, but I'll just trim it at the end. So I just mark the center again here. And I'm just going to cut this in 2 pieces. So just cut it in half, basically. No matter what your measurement is. And then we're going to glue 1 piece here like this. So I'm just going to put a little bit of an ink in that cut edge. And then I'm going to glue just on. If we put this on here, I'm just going to glue, well, I really do need to trim this now. So I'm just going to put it on the edge there. I'll trim it. I can probably just trim it at 2 inches because I think that's what it is, but and then I want to put glue just on the bottom and this outside edge, not on this, not on the top and not on the side with the notch on it. So this side and this side. You want to have a fairly thin bead of glue here because the bigger your bead of glue, the smaller your pocket's going to be. I'm just going to line that up. So I'm just lining that up just on this little narrow part here. Don't go over the fold. I think this glue is not holding on this this paper very well. Let me just put a couple of clips here for a minute. That'll just help it stay till it dries. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay, and then I want to work on my closure here. Well, let me just show you first of all these. Yeah. Just trying to see what part I can do with these clips still in here. What I can do is put this inside. Here I just had, I made a pocket inside so I could put some more writing space in there. And these cards were a part of just a printable that I had for my Ponder the Word group. So here's another one that just says remember on it. So I'm just going to glue this one on 3 sides as well to make a pocket. You can do anything you want for a pocket. You don't have to have a pocket. Another thing you could do is just have like kind of a little writing notepad here. I considered that, but I thought probably with the amount of writing space I already have on here, it's probably good. So let me just press that from the back here. These clips are actually really in the way. I think I can take them off soon. Okay, so there I have that glued on. Just grab those off. I'll just touch it up after if I still need to. Okay, so then I have this. There's my inside. Now you can leave it like this and leave these open. Then on this, if you had two-sided paper, that would work better. But I'm going to glue this into a pocket here. So I'm going to glue on the short side here and along the bottom. And then just press that on for a minute. And again on this side, the short, long side. And glue that one on. So these pockets, you can put various things in them. On my first one, I made these little notepad things, and I think I've got so many videos on the go here, and most of them are partly done, but not completely done. So probably next week I'll have this one done. And it's just a little notepad, and I've got some different variations. And I've just got a couple of pieces of coffee dyed paper here. I just folded this in half. This one is 1 1/4 inches, and those just fit. This one is even a little wider than my old one, so these fit perfectly in there. So that's one option. At the beginning of this series, I showed you how to make these tall, skinny pockets. And the tags that we made inside were made from book page. We folded them over and sewed them and gessoed them. I think this might fit, might be a tiny bit tight. But you could do the same sort of thing and put those in there, that kind of tag, that would look great. Or, you know, really anything that you want in there would work. Okay, so then my 2 pockets are glued. So that is done. And I also inked around these edges a minute ago while I was waiting for something to dry. Okay, and then on my first one here, I had this tag closing it. And this tag was made with one of the printables from my kit as well, and I just backed off it with a piece of this cardstock that was left over from my piece there. So I have somewhere, I have a whole big strip still of this left, so I could make a tag with that as well. Another option is, this is just a little zine that I made. I got this from Tracy Fox. So these are fairly thin, and that could just go into here and hold this closed as well. That would look really good. Another option is, and this video I don't think has come out quite yet either, I made a master board with a bunch of different mixed media bits, put clusters on them, and little tabs and sewed around them. The base is book page or Bible page in this case. So one of those would fit perfectly in there as well and keep it closed. So lots of different little options to keep it closed if you want to use a tag. Just put those in like that. I like the look of those. And you could put little ribbons or whatever on there. If you wanted to use something like this tag, you just measure how wide you want it based on, you know, your glue spots here. You want wide enough to be almost the width of here, but of course fitting in your pocket. And I wanted mine to be not quite as tall as these pockets. I didn't want to hide all of this stuff up there. So I think I made mine 4 inches high by 3 inches wide is what mine turned out to be. So you can do something like that. This one I decorated this pocket a little bit with a piece of doily and a washi sticker and a label and some stamps. I put a little washi sticker there as well. You could decorate the inside. When you glue it down in your journal, you could glue it straight down onto your journal, or you could glue it on, you know, 2 sides for a tuck. You could glue it on 3 sides and have another tall label coming out of the top. So lots of different options once you get it to this point, but that is how you construct those. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed that project and try it out on your next journal. Thanks for watching. Blessings.